The Monster X Tour brings a spectacular lineup of monster trucks to Pikeville, Kentucky, in the far eastern part of the state. This tiny coal mining town has struck gold with an all-star lineup of trucks, and it's all coming up next on ActionTracks. Presented by E3 Spark Plugs, born to burn. Hello once again and welcome to ActionTracks presented to you by E3 Spark Plugs. We're out with the Monster X Tour in Pikeville, Kentucky, the far eastern part of the state, and this crowd is ready to rock. We've got a capacity crowd and they've got a great lineup of trucks, but let's meet them right now before we get into any action. First up, it's Tailgating in the Big Dawg. Tailgator, driven by Noelke. Zane Rettew in the Stinger. And rounding out the field, the old veteran, Eric Tack, back in the seat of Bigfoot. We're going to get straight into the action. Friday night wheelie competition. Coming out first, it's going to be Noelke in the Tailgator. Noelke with the fresh hit on the fresh cars, not able to get up over the edge there. These cars laid on semi-tires, creating an extra 10 or so inches of lift. Something that you have to think about when attacking these cars. Noelke again with issues. I guarantee you he is embarrassed in that cab right now. Oh, but yet again. I guarantee he is steaming right now. Not the way you want to start off your weekend. Noelke, the score going to be a 19. Solid attempts, but a little more embarrassment than anything right there. I don't think Doug's going to let that happen the rest of the weekend. Coming out next, Zane Rettew in the Stinger. He's been very impressive in these wheelie competitions. Rettew perhaps having some issues getting on the cars as well. Rettew known for stomping the brakes before the set of cars to really set the front end to get great lift. A little issue, but then he overcame. He's going to take the lead with that wheelie. Coming out next, it's the Tailgator teammate truck, the Big Dawg, driven by Gerding. Gerding, a good job, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And indeed, only an 18. That will slot him into third place right now. Our final competitor, Eric Tack in the Odyssey Bigfoot. Tack standing it up nicely. Eric Tack, he's been out of the seat, but he still knows how to do it. Showing the fans how you do a wheelie. The score is going to be a 25, and Eric Tack is going to take the first competition of the weekend. Moving into racing competition in just a moment. We'll be right back. We're back on ActionTracks from Pikeville, Kentucky on the Monster X Tour, where we're getting ready for racing action. On the line right now, Big Dawg Dale Gerding versus the Stinger, waiting for the light. Stinger with a huge jump. But Big Dawg makes it to the finish line first. The Monster X team trying something a little different. The truck's running in opposite directions. We'll see how that works out throughout the night, but right now, Tailgator and Bigfoot on the line waiting for the starting line. Dawg Noelke taking it to Bigfoot, and he's taking the first round win. It'll be an all Big Dawg racing final, as Tailgator will match up with Big Dawg. But first, we've got the consolation race, the third place race, Bigfoot versus Stinger. Rettew almost red-lit, and I think that threw him off. Eric Tack takes third place. We'll be right back with the finals in just a moment. We're back, and it's time for the racing finals from Pikeville, Kentucky. It's a teammate showdown. Employee versus the boss. Tailgator versus Big Dawg. Tailgator, Dawg Noelke takes it handedly. Noelke left him at the light. Always an impressive racer, and Noelke proves exactly why. Climbing out to salute this near capacity crowd. Oh, perhaps talking a little smack there with some of the other competitors. We're moving into our third competition of the night, the donut competition. The drivers have really been debating whether donuts will even be possible on this tricky floor. This floor has a tendency to bite and release as they place Coke syrup, raw Coke syrup, down on the floor to increase grip, but it's also making it terribly difficult to get a donut going. But Dawg Noelke not having any issues. He starts the scoring off with a 25. Out next, it's the Stinger. Rettew having some issues. Finally getting the truck to break loose a little bit. Still not what he's looking for. One walking revolution at a time, about all he can get. The score only a 14, not going to be good enough tonight. The Big Dawg, Dale Gerding, out on the track. Walking around with the front wheel hike, We saw his teammate get the wheelie. Dale not able to. The score only a 10. But he's going to hit the cars just for good measure to give the fans some sort of show there. Our last competitor, Eric Tack in the Odyssey Batteries Bigfoot number 14. No problem for Tack. Really giving Doug Noelke some competition. Tack salutes the crowd. The score is a 26. That's going to give him the donut victory tonight in Pikeville. Freestyle when we come back. We're back in Pikeville, Kentucky with ActionTracks. It's freestyle time and this capacity crowd is ready to rock. Doug Noelke out on the track first in the Tailgator. Hazard pay attached to the front of the big bad gator. So we'll get first-hand perspective as he freestyles tonight in Pikeville. Cross-threading just a little bit there. Noelke carrying good solid momentum. Looking for some real big hits for some big scores. Double vision from the jaws of the gator. Noelke again on the fresh metal, having some issue getting up on the obstacle. Another issue here on this concrete floor, the cars tend to move, and if you look closely, when he hits some of the obstacles, they are indeed moving on him, which is making it much more difficult to make it up over the increased lip of the cars while they're sitting on those tires. Looks like it's going to be all taking a look back at some of the highlights. Noelke really mixing it up well, attacking a variety of obstacles, getting some good air. A good way to start the competition. The score is going to be a 19. I don't think Doug had his normal enthusiasm after a freestyle. I think he was probably a little disappointed with that though. The Stinger, Zane Rettew, coming out on the track for his freestyle run and starting off big, bringing a big wheelie over the center van stack. There you see some sparks out of the rear of the truck. We'll have to follow to see if that's any issue. I think it's just the battery terminal shorting out a little bit. That shouldn't affect his run too much. Rettew still trying for that donut on this tricky floor. That may have been his best attempt so far. Rettew losing some momentum here. may be having some issues with the rear steering on the Stinger truck. I know that's bit him a couple times lately. We'll see if he can get that straightened out. Wrestling with the truck, it's just not quite working right for him. He's still fighting it though. Lining up for a big hit on the van stack. Looks like that's all. The score is a 17. Not going to be good enough tonight in Pikeville. A few highlight moments, but not a lot of momentum. Andy was struggling with the truck towards the end of the run. I think that hurt him with the judges. Dale Gerding and the Big Dog coming out next for his freestyle run. Dale's been behind the wheel of the Big Dog for a few years now and has really been developing well, getting a lot more comfortable with the truck. There were some doubters when he first got behind the wheel, but Dale's doing a good job and keeping the equipment in one piece. That's gotta please Doug Noelke, the owner of the team. Dale heading for the center stack. Not the biggest lift we've seen over that obstacle tonight, but a good way to mix up your run and really try to impress the judges with some variability. Dale out there doing a solid job. Not a lot of momentum, but solid momentum. That's it for Big Dog. The score is an 18. A few good hits, but nothing that's really going to stand out to the judges. I think the score provides evidence of that. Busting onto the track, wasting no time. Eric Tack in the Odyssey Batteries Bigfoot. Tack, an old veteran for the Bigfoot organization, kind of the higher-end driver right now. We talked to him earlier.
Oh, it's great to be back in the truck again. It's just like a little toy, and you can't get it away from me.
Tack out here as a hired gun. He's kind of stepped away from Bigfoot in the last few years and still fills in from time to time and does a masterful, perhaps a spectacular job piloting the big blue Bigfoot truck. There's got to be a little rust to shake off, but he's been out at it for a few weeks in a row now. He seems right at home with the Bigfoot truck. He's got some spectacular sky wheelies going on in this freestyle run. He's got to be the favorite for the freestyle victory tonight. Bigfoot 14 just wheelies so well. An incredible job on the track tonight for Eric Tack. gotta be a shoo-in for the freestyle victory tonight. I'm sure he was angry not making it to the racing finals. He's making up for that tonight in freestyle. He wants to completely sweep the second half of the show, taking donuts and freestyle. And that looks like that's going to be all for Eric Tack and Bigfoot. Taking a look back, launching onto the freestyle track. What a way to announce his presence. Huge wheelies with the truck twisting in the air. Tack is just a class of the field tonight. Undoubtedly, there you have it. The score is a 27. Eric Tack is going to take the freestyle victory, confirming all of our suspicions. Well deserved. We've got day 2 action when we come back. The Monster X Tour from Pikeville, Kentucky is back on ActionTracks. Right now, we're rounding out the opening ceremonies. This a family affair here in Pikeville as Ashley Tack, the niece of Bigfoot driver Eric Tack, sings the national anthem and does a fantastic job. But we're moving into wheelie competition action as Noelke brings out that awesome Tailgator right now. Noelke, after some embarrassment on Friday night, not going to let that happen again. Doing a great job with the wheelie competition. A great way to start off Saturday night action. The score is going to be a 23, really setting the pace for the field. But Zane Rettew, the wheelie nearly master in his young age in a monster truck, fairly inexperienced, he's put on some phenomenal wheelies in his short career. Right here, Rettew slowly walking the truck across the cars, stalling it just a little bit on the cars while he's at it. Simply awesome by the Stinger. Pogoing the truck. The wheelie bar gets stuck in the car just a little bit, and that helps keep him from rolling it over backwards as he gooses the throttle. The Stinger is a fan favorite here in Pikeville with that wheelie. The score, a 28, going to be nearly impossible to match. But Dale Gerding out on the track in the big dog is going to try his hardest. Gerding taking a third hit, breaking the rules just a little bit. But that's what monster trucks are all about, breaking a little bit of the rules. The score is going to be a 26. Clearly the judges rewarding him for that spectacular third wheelie. Really launching the big dog into the air. Finally, Eric Tack. If anybody can match the Stinger, it'll be Tack. Number 14, wheelies wonderfully. And starting off with a great wheelie. Taking a look at our hazard pay cam on the Bigfoot truck. Great to have those additional views. Tack for his second wheelie. Stands it right up and down and walks it the entire length of the car set. Who would have thought that anyone might be able to keep up with Zane Rettew? But Eric Tack never ceasing to amaze, staring at the ceiling on our hazard pay cam. One more look from outside the truck as Tack drags the wheelie bar across the cars. Such technicality. The score's a 28. We have a tie. I understand they're going to do a cheer-off, and through cheer-off, Zane Rettew has captured the Pikeville crowd's heart. We've got more action when we come back. We're back on ActionTracks. We just saw a spectacular wheelie competition. Despite Eric Tack's efforts, the victory would go to the young gun, Zane Rettew. But right now, we're moving into racing action. You'll notice a standard side-by-side drag track after the Crossways track last night. Zane Rettew in the Stinger versus the Big Dawg on the line. And Big Dawg is going to take the first race here tonight, bringing up the battle of the big guns, Bigfoot versus Tailgator. This is going to be a showdown. Tack carries the momentum all the way across the cars and takes the racing victory. That sets up our consolation round. It'll bring the Stinger and Tailgator to the line, waiting for green. A close race. That's hard to judge. I can't tell from that vantage point. Slowing it down, it looks like the Stinger took the victory. Noelke taking 4th place. You almost never see that. Doug, such a competent racer, but a tough field of trucks here this weekend. That brings out the finals. The Big Dawg taking on the Odyssey Batteries Bigfoot. Can Tack take the racing victory? His final time out as a hired driver for Bigfoot? Yes, indeed. Eric Tack. A spectacular start to the weekend. We'll be right back. We're back on ActionTracks. As you see, the Monster X Tour Tech officials have reconfigured the track for freestyle, but we've still got the donut competition out first. It's Noelke we talked about last night.
All these other girls didn't want to do the donuts, so they want me to go out and try it. And I got it, brother. Oh, yeah, I laid one down, then everybody got it. The floor was really tacky. We were talking about, it's like, I don't know how this is all going to work out. We were all going to look possibly stupid, but we didn't. It all ended up working out really well.
Noelke talking about the tricky floor in the Expo Center. Doug mastered it last night and doing a wonderful job yet again. Doing a great job on Saturday night as well. Setting the tone and laying down the gauntlet. The score is a 25. The Stinger out next on the floor to see if he can get a donut going. Some issues last night. We'll have to see what he's got. Rettew really struggling on the track. He gave it a great effort, but the truck just would not break loose for him. He tried every which way. We've time-lapsed it for you, but Rettew just not able to get it done tonight. The judges give him a 6. He was out there, he was turning some circles, but he wasn't doing any donuts. Dale Gerding, issues last night as well. He was unable to get a donut going, hiking the front tire off the ground. More issues tonight. The truck is just not trying to break loose on him. Gerding giving up, it looks like. The score of 5. Hitting the cars for good measure. He's disappointed with that, I promise. Eric Tack, he took the donut competition victory last night. We'll see if he can replicate his donut from before. The truck really bucking and jostling around out there, hiking the wheels, catch and release, not working for Tack. Tack gave it every effort out there, but not able to break loose. The score is going to be a 9. That means Doug Noelke in the Tailgator captures the donut competition victory on Saturday night. Freestyle action when we return. We're back on ActionTracks from Pikeville, Kentucky, the Eastern Kentucky Expo Center, and it is freestyle time. You see a great crowd on the floor for the pit party. It's a sold-out house. Return to your homes if you do not have tickets. And I think these drivers know that and are going to put on a fantastic show tonight. Doug Noelke out on the track to start things off. Noelke out there showing off not only that he got a donut and the only donut in the competition, but he can do it over and over as needed. Really rubbing it in the face of the competitors and comboing nicely over the van pyramid. Noelke upping his game before this sold-out crowd here tonight. More donuts as the only competitor that can get them to work on this sticky yet slick track. That should score well with the judges. A great way to end the run. Noelke stopping it on the set of cars, taking a look back at some of the highlights. A well-varied run, hitting all of the obstacles and throwing in some what will likely prove to be unique traits of his run with the donut. The score sets the pace with a 21. Noelke seems a lot more pleased tonight than last night. Zane Rettew bringing the Stinger out on the track. A spectacular wheelie earlier in the show. We'll have to see what he has in store for this freestyle run. The cars out on the track really starting to get mashed down, so it's going to be a lot more difficult to get much air under these tires. Rettew, a nice attack over the van stack. Rettew still a new driver. He just started driving in 2011. The truck completed midway through the year. A Barton Motorsports chassis. We'll expect to see some more chassis out of Randy here in the near future. I know he's got some things underway, as well as building his own truck. Rettew out there attacking the track, but there's just not a lot of air to be had over the far racing lane. And attacking the van stack, he's busted something on the front end of the truck, probably related to the tie rod. We've heard that he broke the mount off of the housing on the tie rod. The score is going to be a 19. Not quite good enough tonight. Dawg Noelke still in the hot seat. Gerding out on the track with the big dog. Gerding's out there working the floor nicely, but still nothing that really sets him apart from the other competitors, and I think that's going to be key tonight if you want the freestyle victory. Dawg Noelke still had those great donuts that kind of mixed things up for him. Gerding coming around to the opposite side of the van stack. Wow, standing it straight up. Gerding not known for being a super aggressive driver. A nice aggressive move. A great way to finish out the run for the big dog. I think that's going to weigh in the judges' minds. Another look at that spectacular wheelie. Gerding salutes the crowd and is rewarded with a 24. That puts him in the hot seat with one competitor remaining. As you see, we've got the hazard pay on Eric Tack. We'll see him as he pilots the Odyssey Batteries Bigfoot. Eric Tack up to the bar last night in freestyle. We'll have to see what he can do tonight. It's going to take something good to knock off Dale Gerding, but Eric Tack can certainly do it. Eric Tack! Oh! Standing it straight up and down, but you heard a loud thunk when he landed. He may have broken a sway bar. I don't see anything hanging down. That's not going to stop Tack. He continues his attack on the track. This Tack's last ride after a stint in the truck as a hired gun, and he wants to go out on top. Tack rounding towards the backside of the van stack and stands Bigfoot straight up, stalling. Oh, and over backwards. A huge hit on the cage of the truck. A wild way to round out the show. He climbs out. He's okay. I promise you, he's not thrilled. That's not something you often see out of the Bigfoot drivers. But Tack, always putting it on edge when he's behind the wheel. But it's tough to make that phone call back to the Bigfoot shop and say, I rolled it over. But the crowd in Pikeville loves him for it. What a way to end the show. The score is a 28. At least he's going to take the freestyle victory. They love him here in Pikeville. As a special treat, we're going to backtrack and take a look at Eric Tack in cab with our hazard pay camera. This should be entertaining. Looking so calm in the cab of the truck as he stands it up and down. Just looks to be methodically running the paces. He's playing with the camera. He just covered his eyes. Eric Tack definitely has a sense of humor. You can tell right there he's having fun out there in Bigfoot. Coming around for that last hit, standing it straight up, waiting, and he gave us the thumbs up. He knew he was done for it. The truck rolling backwards, a hard hit. Tack quickly releasing the belts and climbing out of the truck to the fans, to the crowd's delight. A sold out crowd. This is the time to do it if you're going to do it. Eric Tack earning the freestyle victory. It's been an awesome weekend in Pikeville on the Monster X Tour. All of the drivers putting on a great show. Eric Tack, simply the class of the field in Bigfoot. You've got to relish every time he's behind the wheel, as he is amazing. Well worth the price of admission. Noelke, the only driver able to really get donuts on Saturday night. Eric Tack putting on a spectacular show in the wheelie contest on Saturday night. Zane Rettew would take the wheelie victory with a awesome, simply amazing walking wheelie across the cars. This crowd was in for a treat with this lineup, and they didn't disappoint. Amazing all weekend long. Check out the Monster X Tour when they're in your area. We've got to thank everybody from the Monster X Tour. We've had a great time on ActionTracks. I'm sure you've had the same. We'll see you next time.